welcome to episode 53 of The Weekender. I'm Brandon Roberts, along with my twin brother, Chris Bishop. Welcome back.
I'm back.
Yeah, you missed last week. It was a good show.
I did. I heard you guys had Ellie on, and Vandana did a great job, and they were talking about the election and all the fun and everything going on. How was it?
It was good. Vandana tried to stump us, but we had all the answers.
Well, I bet that wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard. Hey.
So I went camping, if you can believe that, in a tent and everything. I went to southern Utah.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go out of the heat, and it was 95 in southern Utah. Figure.
Good times then, huh?
Yeah, it was a great time. We actually had a great time ATV and stuff. So, yeah, believe it or not, southern Utah is packed with people, right?
Uh-huh.
And you go to all these campgrounds and stuff, and just full of Las Vegans getting out of the heat and not wearing masks. It's unbelievable. It's like a different world.
Well, you wore a mask, though.
I did. I would walk into stores and stuff, and I had my mask on because that's what we're doing here to protect each other. And
but you were also out there in the dust in your
that was another reason. It was kind of ironic, but anyway. But I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, well, welcome back. It's good to have you back. So I don't know what we're going to talk about, but
we got a lot to talk about, actually. And so, starting off, of course, today is 9/11, and we've all made a promise never to forget. And I know that I was thinking earlier today, where was I? What was I doing? And believe it or not, I was a junior in high school, all of 17. And I remember my mom waking me up and telling me, we've got to watch the TV and what happened. And it felt like the entire world stopped, and we were glued to what was going on. Where were you?
I wish I was doing something exciting, but I was just getting up and getting ready for work. And I usually never turn on the TV, but I happened to turn on the TV that morning.
Yeah.
It was quite a weird feeling to have that going on. And that whole day I went into the office. We were just a small brokerage. It was me and two other people. And it was just a weird day. Yeah,
for sure. But I think one of the things that as I was going back through remembering what was going on, and right after that happened, it seemed like the country unified together, and we were in such a place of unity, I guess. And the economy in the United States actually started to go gangbusters, and that people remember the horrible crash, the stock market crash, and of course the real estate crash, but they forget what led to those high values and things that were going on. And I just remember I got in the business in 2003 and going through that, and it seemed like anyone could sell a house and no doc loans, and all you had to do was have a pulse and a little bit of money in the bank, and you can buy whatever you wanted. $1 million, sure, why not?
Say what you make, and they took your word for it.
Yeah. So I think that one of the things we've been noticing, and so a little bit of history there with that and leading up to the crash, but everyone's been talking now, is the market going to crash? What's going to happen in Las Vegas? CoreLogic just came out with a report that said Las Vegas was the number one riskiest market in the nation.
It's projected to crash in June or July of next year.
What do you think?
I don't like reports like that because I don't think you can really predict that, but they're going based off they're anticipating a high foreclosure rate, so a lot of delinquencies right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like there's a lot of delinquencies in Las Vegas. There's a lot of delinquencies everywhere, right? I mean, it's not like one market or one suburb or one area. It's the entire nation.
Yeah, but it's pretty high out here too. I mean, we've got a lot of people in the service industry and a
Sure.
lot of people out of work.
Yeah.
But I think as the economy opens back up and people get back to work, I think they're going to be able to turn around, because one of the big differences we have now over back then was there's equity in people's homes.
Well, that's true. And I think a lot of times people forget during the foreclosure crisis that, we had large companies that had falsified bank statements, like balance sheets, right? And it was like we were going to bail out this industry and we were going to bail out this industry. But we're talking about the housing market. I mean, that's everyone across the board. And you can't let the entire U.S. housing market fail, right? There's just no way that they would ever allow that to happen. So I think that it's going to be a different chain of events that will lead to it. But what I think is kind of interesting is they forecasted a 7.8% decline. Now, I don't know how they came up with 7.8%, but what do we know about interest rates right now? They're the lowest they've ever been. And so even if your home did decline, the rental market has stayed relatively steady, even through all of those different crises that we've had. We have a great rental market in Southern Nevada. Yeah. And so I'm buying property and going to rent them out.
Yeah, I'm having a good time here. We're getting a lot of comments. We got Tom Blanchard there.
Uh-oh.
He's campaigning for me hard, so I love
That's
it.
That's good. Yeah. Well, let's shift into that. So how goes the campaign?
So it's long and tedious. It's hard.
Long nights.
Hard. Yeah, a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, I can understand that.
No, it's been fun so far. I mean, there's a lot of social media posts, different things like that. We've had a couple forums. There'll be a few more next week. I know Berkshire Hathaway's having one.
Yeah.
Aldo's office next Tuesday, and for his agents, the Tinas are going to do something.
Is that one actually in person or is it by Zoom?
By Google Hangouts, I think.
Oh, nice.
And then Dave and Dave from
Dave and
Dave Show are doing something next week as well. So it's kind of cool.
We definitely need to get more votes as you go through the process, and it's definitely a process. And you're the first president-elect group that's ever had to campaign for the presidency without being able to go to offices and actually, shake hands and kiss babies.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad. I mean,
It's different
because there's some pluses to it. I mean, you're able to just get onto a call and connect with a lot more
Yeah.
people, but you also miss that human interaction though too.
Yeah, I mean, really, people won't even be able to say, I don't know if he's a tall guy or a short guy or what, because they've never seen you in person. They've seen you by Zoom.
I'm taller than you, but still short.
Well, that's good either way. So, we've had a number of these episodes and shows where we've had on some cool guests. I mean, we had Keith Lynham on here. I say cool, he was an interesting guest, but it's always enjoyable to hear different perspectives. And then we had Blanchard on just recently talking about the Las Vegas market and the Board of Realtors. I think Tom did a great job.
He did.
I think Tom has actually been, Tom, if you're watching, I think you've been a great president, and I think you did really well with what you were handed, and you managed to keep it together. And I will lose the bets I made, but I'm glad for Las Vegas Realtors.
Well, I think you both have done a great job. You as the state president, him as the local. I think you guys. It was very cool that you guys were there because I think
It was
you
fun
guys handled it well.
to work together with him. Not fun to go through the pandemic, but fun to work with him.
You didn't have to hang out with him, just talk.
No, that was cool. Hey, so a couple of things that are on that state front. So our state convention, we actually had planned for the end of September, and we've decided to give an even better event. But to do that, we're going to move it to the end of October, and it's going to be completely virtual, which will be really nice. So we'll be able to have more content. We're going to have an entire website. And the one thing I'm asking is all the brokers that are going to see this video, or all the brokers that are going to tell other brokers about this video, is really would like to have this stream from offices so that agents that are in the office can see it. If you have a Facebook platform for your company, that you stream it on there. But we're going to make it easy to do that so that you can provide the same value to all of your agents. And, I think that if we all get good information, it makes us all better.
Well, you guys have got some good stuff coming.
We got some great
You've given
speakers.
me some teasers, but you won't tell me who they are yet. But
we got two major sales trainers, and I mean major, like two of the top sales trainers in the industry, and I've never seen them on stage together, and I don't want to ruin it yet until the promo piece comes out. We're going to have a Realtor Day where we're going to get, we have Vince Malta and Bob Goldberg coming to talk about, their experience leading the association, the National Association, through this pandemic and what they've had to go through. And then Rocky Finseth has a number of political candidates that are going to come in and talk to us about, what they see happening in the real estate market and what's going to go from there. So
how cool is that?
Yeah. Plus, we have a number of broker panels where we have some brokers throughout the state, people that you don't usually hear from. They're going to talk about, their company and how they've made production happen through this. And we've got some agent panels we're going to do. So it'll be a good potpourri. It's my favorite word of information.
Well, the cool thing is too, now there's no reason that everyone shouldn't attend this year's state convention. I mean, you don't have to travel.
Yeah.
It's going to be great information. You can get it from your office, from your house, from anywhere. So.
Yeah. So, while I have you here for a few minutes, with all the other great information we've shared, I want to go back to some election topics because I really do think it's important that people have your perspective. And so, you get into these election meetings and you're talking to people on Zoom and they say, we want lower dues and we want more services. And what is it that you think the average agent really needs from their association?
Well, I think they need better communication, really,
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff that the association already provides.
Sure.
That I don't think a lot of agents know about because they haven't made an effort to tap into it.
Yeah.
Or it hasn't been communicated in a way that they receive it.
Sure.
So I think there's a lot of great tools that are already provided, and I think we really need to understand the value of what the association brings to the membership.
But do you think the association should compete with a broker?
Well, that's an interesting thing. I don't think it should compete with a broker, and I don't think it should do things that interfere with people's business models. So there's a fine line that you kind of have to walk.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times there's tools and stuff that are provided that maybe compete with a broker, but it's an attempt to establish value for
Or
the
like
board.
a baseline, yeah.
Yeah, even though there's so much more value in other aspects than just tools and gadgets.
Yeah. I've heard many times, going through these elections and things, and people saying, well, I don't like the MLS system, the way it's set up, but yet we get upgrades and improvements. And the hardest part is it's extremely easy to use, right? It's just that if we change it, people complain and say, I can't use it because they don't understand how it works. And I think the one thing I've noticed is, I've been through, I don't know, 5 or 6 MLSs, from a token that we had to click to get a code for, and the other systems we had, and it didn't matter, it seems, what the system was. It was just about the agent's ability to understand it. And we've got agents from all different levels of technology experience and everything else that doesn't make sense to do things like that. Don't be radical, right? Don't be radical.
Technology can be very expensive, especially to develop. So I think the MLS has done a good job going through the changes and bringing an MLS that's usable. May not be the best that it could be, but I think it's a great tool that we all get to use. And
one of the differences, for you running, you're an owner of a company, a large company. With the amount of agents you have, and that's rare for that to happen. We've only had so many company owners be local association president. And so, with you having that perspective, I think it's really cool that you're out there engaging into it. We've had some crazy elections, like crazy things have happened. Has this one been relatively quiet? Someone tried to hack your computer or anything weird like that?
No.
You never know where the pie's coming from.
Nothing. Yeah.
Right?
I need more votes, Dad.
I need more votes.
No, it's been pretty relatively quiet.
That's good.
I've had some great conversations with people. I've had a lot of people call me. I've reached out to people. I think people are optimistic about what the future is here in the market, and I think people are ready to kind of get back to normal.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that's going to happen or when that's going to happen, but I think we're going to start gradually going that direction.
The crazy thing is, we're all in this market together. We all work together as agents and brokers, and and I jest with the pie thing, but my good friend Dave Tina dealt with some horrific things while he ran for president, and just malice things that should have never happened. They had no place in an election. And so I'm glad to see that we as a group have moved past that. And because, the pandemic's affected everybody, and we're all in the same market. And I've never seen such a high level of production with things going on like they are. And so it's good to know that hasn't, caused any issues in the election or the race.
Yeah, no, I'm glad Dave hung in there through that. I sat on his board when he was president, and he did a great job.
He did do a great job.
It was a really
Both Tinas did a good job.
Yeah, I didn't get the pleasure of sitting on seniors, but Junior did a great job.
Yeah. I was talking to my dad, Keith, the other day, and he's running for director again. And I was kind of surprised because I was like, he's already been through all of this. He's already had his time as president. He's already been an RVP and state president. And I said, why would you want to do it all again? Yeah. And, he made the comment. He says, I love giving back to the association. I love being part of it. And, you learn a perspective. You've been on the board and you've been through meetings and you've been through trainings, and how the budgets read, and you understand what they're for and how the member numbers count. That's pretty valuable knowledge that you need to have to be able to serve the membership. And it's a shame to let all of those classes and investments in the individuals go to waste. So
he brings some history too. So reasons why things have changed and things have been voted on that. And another one that's kind of recycling through is Lee Barrett.
Yeah.
He ran last year and he's on the board again, and that's pretty neat, I think.
I think it was cool to see that Lee got a high number of votes because, he does a lot of training. He's been around, but I think that history is really important. We have some really cool director candidates running that I think it would be nice to talk about. And, Ellie Morris, of course, one of our directors is running, and Ellie is just a fantastic individual, has been really involved in the veterans membership groups that are here. If you go to an event anywhere, Ellie's there.
He is a networking fool.
Yeah, he'll do a great job. Yeah. Someone that I'm pleased to see is running is Christina Chipman.
Yeah.
She was a leader with WCR, moved up through leadership there. She served as a chair for me a couple of times on different things, and I think she'll do a great job as well. And there are so many more that are running,
It's neat to see new people stepping up and going in there.
Yeah.
Instead of the same. I think a lot of times if it's the same people all the time, you kind of get, for lack of a better word, an agenda, or they get complacent, or it's neat to have fresh ideas coming in. So.
And then, for stability, I really am pleased to see that Stephanie Grant is running again for her seat, and she did a great job. I served on the board with her. She was my YPN chair, and she's just a cool individual all the way around. And so congrats to her for running again. But to everyone running, For those that haven't served on the board, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I'm glad you're trying to find out. And for those that have run before, good on you. And that's great.
And those of you that aren't running, make sure you get out there and vote. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just vote. Everyone's such great candidates and stuff on the ballot, and you got to have your voice heard.
Yep. So we've talked about the pandemic. We've talked about the real estate market and is it crashing or not. The one thing I'll leave you with on the crashing market part is that we've been through markets where it did crash. And no matter what happened to the median sales price, still 20 to 30,000 homes traded sides. And I think the important thing is that if agents are out there working, no matter what happens in my personal life, I still have to have a place to live. I still have to have a place to put my stuff, and I'm still going to be here in Las Vegas. And so it's important that you have a well-educated realtor that's going to help you through the process.
There you go.
Yeah, give me a call.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
This show is sponsored by Chris Bishop.
That's right.
And the Bishop Group. Nice. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. That's pretty much the weekend here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's been a great week, and if we don't see you soon, we'll see you next week.
There you go.
I feel a change.